Welcome to the
People of fucking Boston. Shout out people of Boston. Park the car in Harvard Yard. I'll tell you what, the people who do this podcast, whoever's listening, good shit. They're good shit. We're here with the people of Boston. They're beauties. We're chilling.
You want to do it? You want me to do it?
Welcome back to the People of Boston podcast. I'm your co-host Joe, here with
Casey Kasem in the morning. It's not like fucking...
Thank you and hello again, everybody. Welcome to America's Top 10.
morning radio. Yeah, welcome back. I'm Matt.
I'm Joe.
And we're the people. Well, we're the hosts of the People of Boston. We're not the people of Boston. We'll hear from. Well, we are.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
but we'll hear from the actual people of Boston soon. We got to remind you guys to check out our website, thepeopleofboston.com. If you listen to the podcast, leave us a review because that does help us. And we're struggling over here.
That's right.
We're not struggling. We're doing okay, but we want
barely afloat.
We want people to find us, and it helps people find us when people leave reviews.
That's right.
So if you like it, also shout out to Wendy from Connecticut. She says she listens to the podcast.
That's right.
And she left us a review. She said she found us on Chaz and AJ radio station. That's a Connecticut-based radio station. But she said she grew up in or whatever, and lived in Boston for a while. So
yep.
I don't have it in front of me, but she lived in Boston for a while, found the podcast, and she doesn't live here anymore, but she loves listening. And that's kind of the point of this, too, is like, you don't have to live in Boston to like the podcast. Maybe you just like the city, or live not anywhere near a city, but want to hear what's going on in the city, like hear from the people that we meet. Yep. And Joe and I met some strange people.
When I was younger, I started to go to raves, because I didn't feel like me.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what that was like, and so... started experimenting with a lot of drugs, and so that kind of made me weird, I guess.
So you experimented with drugs at raves?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So leave us a review. And thank you, Wendy, for leaving us that nice review. She's also a nurse, so got to give a shout out to her. And also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. We mainly post on Instagram and TikTok. That's where we found, like, we have like 3 followers on Twitter, and no one cares there. Yeah, no one cares there.
All right.
We also have a YouTube and Rumble channel where you can watch, if you're not watching the podcast on Spotify, you can watch either the full thing on Spotify or clips of it. So, now that that's done, Joe, what are we talking about first?
All right, so the first thing, Matt, it's the end of May here. It's the beginning of June. As a lot of high schools and colleges are finishing up the spring semester or the school year. Yes. They are celebrating the graduating class of 2022.
Yes. So congratulations.
Congratulations to all the recent college grads and the high school grads as well. So the first thing, it's hard to not talk about this at this time of the year. Advice for recent graduates, high school, college.
Yes.
So we went out already and talked with a lot of people in Boston on the street, and they give some pretty good advice, pretty standard advice.
Yeah, and we both graduated from high school and college.
That's right, so we know what we're talking about.
So, and I think that, like you said, the timing is perfect because people just graduated or are about to graduate high school.
Yep.
And just graduated college, most likely. And I think it'd be good to hear some advice from people. And I'll be completely honest. The advice that was given, I think great advice from the people on the streets, but kind of generic.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and give our advice from our personal experiences. Let's start with high school. Let's make it maybe 1 or 2 sentences. Advice to a recent high school graduate. You want to start?
You start.
Okay, I'll start. So if I had to just give short advice, I don't want this to drag on, but just because it's, and obviously take it for what it's worth from us. But I would say advice I would give to a high school graduate, or give to myself if I was just graduating high school, would be to make sure that you have a plan. Like, take things a little more seriously than maybe you're taking them now. Because I feel like in high school I was just kind of almost like, I don't want to say like floating, but I was just kind of like going through the motions almost. I was like, now it's time for college. I'll just work. Like, I just wasn't really like honed in to where I feel like maybe I am in a mindset like after college. And I'd also say don't do anything stupid. Because I just feel like in between high school and when I graduated high school and graduated college, I just did a lot of stupid things. Nothing harmful, but I just feel like a lot of stupid things. So I feel like really, and especially in a day and age where everything's recorded, right? And everything's on camera, you gotta just remember not to do anything stupid. and that stuff will live with you and haunt you, especially if you want to run for office or something like that, right? Or do anything. So yeah, that'd be my advice. Joe, what do you have for advice?
For high school, we're specifically talking about. So great advice, Matt. Have a plan. I think if I could, talk to myself as I was graduating high school, I would say don't take life so seriously. Relax a little bit. Have a little bit more fun.
So you're a little bit
pretty much the opposite of what Matt just said. But I think at that point in time, you're able to take more risks than you are as an adult, and you're supporting yourself. And so I wish that I kind of, had more fun, took more risks after I graduated from high school, and and don't stress so much about your grades if you are going into college. It's much more important to get good grades in high school than it is in college, because you're trying to get into college, right? When you graduate high school, most people. And then once you're in college, if you're not trying to go to a grad school or you're not trying to go to law school, don't take your grades so seriously over the next 4 years. Have a good time and keep taking risks. Keep having fun.
So it's funny you say that, because my advice for a recent college graduate is to take those risks. Like now that you have graduated college. Because now is the time that you actually maybe have an actual kind of income flow or stream. Obviously it would be to focus on getting a job within your career, the best one you can find, and one that is enjoyable. But also to take those risks, because this is now the time where you have maybe some more financial backing to then push through some things that you actually wanted to do. So I don't know what risks in high school, that just looking back for myself, that I would have taken, but I know the podcast is kind of one of these things that is almost a risk. I mean, it's not a huge risk, it's just more so time, a little bit of money, but more so time.
Yep.
But I think after college is a time to sit down and really think, all right, so I graduated, I may be on a path to make some money and get myself set up as an adult. But in terms of risk taking, now is the time, I think, after college, to maybe, whatever it may be, to start some kind of side thing, or to, whatever it is, whatever your thing is, after 10 years after college is when you won't be able to take the risks, because let's say the majority of people do is then they get married, have a family, right? Not everybody, but that's the general path. That's when you can't take risks. That's when you have to make sure everything's focused center. Now is the time to take risks.
My advice for recent college graduates would be to find something that you like to do, which sounds stupid, also sounds a little silly. But what I really mean is, if you have a passion that you've discovered maybe in college, maybe a class that you took, or maybe it was, from event volunteering, whatever it is, whatever you found, if you found something, do your best to try to monetize that. So if that's starting your own business, getting a job in a different field, working for a nonprofit, taking a little bit of a salary cut, whatever that is, similar to what you're saying now's the time to take risks. Once you find something that you like to do, my parents always said this, the money will follow you. Once you find something you like to do. I'm really lucky. I tell Matt all the time how lucky I am, because I found a job that I like. And my life would be significantly worse if I was still working for a company and for a job that I just couldn't stand.
Last job, that you didn't like.
It was horrible. And now that I've found, a job that I like for the last year or so, my life's the best that it's ever been.
That's good.
That would be the advice that I would give to recent college graduate.
That's good. And you know what? Again, take what we say for what it's worth, even though we're both multimillionaires and have everything figured out. So, I mean, that's, with that being said, let's go and hear what the people on the Shoot to Boston had to say, and let's hear what their advice is for recent. We kind of lumped it as one with them. We said high school or college graduate, we kind of lumped it as one. So let's hear what they have to say to recent graduates for advice.
So,
college, high school, just do what makes you happy, and chase after your passions. Don't be afraid of what other people think about what you want to do for your career.
What if their passion is something like evil and not good though?
Well, try to put some good in the world.
All right, I'm just busting your balls there.
Get out of debt as soon as we can.
Get out of debt?
Yep.
That's a good one. If you can, honestly, live at home for a year. It is not as bad as it sounds.
Okay.
And you save a lot of money. Not like this is like the money podcast. I don't mean to.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. That, but also, I'm trying to think.
Did you live at home like when you first? Did you go to college?
I
Can ask
did.
you guys?
Yeah. So I went to college, and then I lived at home for a year, and then moved into the city. So
Okay, nice.
it worked out. Yeah.
You saved a lot of money that way.
As much as I could.
Yeah. You're still in college.
I am taking a gap year, so I'm starting
gap
in the
year.
fall, yeah.
Okay, but you graduated high school?
I did.
Okay, what advice do you have to a recent high school graduate, and then let's say maybe even college graduates? I know you haven't graduated college, but let's say
not.
graduates in general.
Okay, so I'm taking a gap year right now, and if you're thinking about taking a year off, I like highly recommend it.
Okay.
Because I needed time to get myself together and also save money. Yeah,
that
would
makes
be my
sense.
advice, yeah.
What would you say that someone should do during that gap year to really focus and make sure they're using it productively? Like, do you feel like you're using your gap year productively?
I am, because what I did was I'm working, I have a job, I took a couple classes.
Okay.
So now I have credits.
Good.
And travel as well, if you have the means to.
Okay, so travel.
See some stuff, yeah.
Did you travel anywhere?
I did. I went to actually with my sister to do her college visits.
Okay.
So we went there. And I also I was in Denmark for
recently,
like a couple months ago.
Nice.
Just for a week, yeah.
Okay, how was that?
It was really cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you like about Denmark maybe better than the US?
It's just like completely different culture there.
Yeah.
They have really cool like architecture and stuff.
Okay. So does Boston though, kind of, no?
Yeah, no. I mean, I live here all my life. I'm like.
So you're like numb to it. You're like, oh,
yeah.
it's cool.
But I love Boston.
Never give up on your dreams. Do what your heart feels, and don't never let nobody tell you you can't do something in life.
That's good. That's good advice. Justin?
I would have said, I'll tell him, you shouldn't have went to college.
Should have wasted.
That's a great advice too, but
You wasted a lot of money.
Did you guys?
And you're never gonna be able to pay it back.
Did you guys go to college?
No, I didn't. I actually got my own business, which is called Lux Drip, a clothing line.
Lux Drip, awesome. Where can people find it?
LuxDripApparel.com.
LuxDripApparel.com.
Instagram, Snapchat. You can find it on those 3 sites, and also I got a website itself too.
What kind of apparel is it? Like what kind of clothes?
So I have urban, I have workout gear, I have stuff for kids, women, young, old, doesn't matter.
Awesome, awesome. That's great. How's it going? Do you like it?
Yeah, it's going good. It's been going for 3 years now. It got its ups and downs, but for most part, it's doing pretty good.
Well, you got the Gucci and you got the grill, so it must be going good.
Yeah, definitely. Man. You know that, yeah, for sure.
I would honestly say live your fucking life.
Live life.
Like, absolutely go after what you want. There is no regrets. There is no mistakes. Just go after what you want and do what you feel passionate about, because that's what's going to get you where you want to be.
Awesome, awesome. What did you go to college?
I did.
Okay, so after high school, what were you, I guess maybe nervous or anything? Like, what were you?
I was so nervous. I was nervous to fit in. I was nervous to get to a good friend group. I made the most amazing friend groups. I have had friends for the past 10 years that are my best friends. They're gonna be at my wedding. They're the most absolutely amazing people, and I would not be where I am without them today.
That's great. That's great. So I guess, how did you make friends for going from high school to college? What would you say for that?
Honestly, I would say get into curricular activities. For me, I joined a sorority. I joined a social activities group. I would say join your activities. Definitely get into the groups that you feel like you fit into.
Sure.
And then definitely vibe out with who you vibe out with. Don't be fake. Just get into it. Be who you are, because they're gonna like you for who you are. Don't be a fake person, because they're gonna like you for who you are.
So just be yourself, expose yourself to as much as possible.
Absolutely.
And get out there. That's good advice.
Absolutely.
That's good advice. What do you do here in Boston?
I go to college here. I'm a student, yeah.
Nice. How's that going?
Going pretty good. It's my first year.
First year?
Just finished my first year, yeah.
Okay. What advice do you have to recent graduates, high school or college?
I'd say do what you want to do. I think don't really care about money or basically getting the most clout. I think doing what you want to do and pursuing that is the best thing possible.
Okay, so you don't think you should pick a field or whatever it is of to get your degree in for money?
No, I definitely don't think so. A lot of people at my school do, but personally, I think like no matter what school you come out of, like if you put in the work into what you want to do, you'll get promising results.
Okay, that's good. Good attitude.
I'm in college.
You're in college?
Yeah.
Okay, when do you graduate?
2025.
Okay, so you just started?
Yeah, I just finished my freshman year.
Okay, cool. So the first question we have for you is, what advice do you have to recent high school graduates?
I'd have to say that your grades and your GPA don't define you, and to come into college without any expectations.
Okay. Did you not have great grades? I didn't.
I had really good grades. I was like I was an Amy kid, 4.3, top of my class.
Okay.
But coming to college, I came to realize that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And that everybody else around me was the exact same thing, and it didn't make me special.
Okay, cool. Was that like a big realization, or did you always kind of know that, or like how did you figure that out?
I started to learn that as an upperclassman when I was applying to schools, and they wanted to see like what made you different.
Yeah.
But it was truly getting here and seeing that like some of the smartest people I knew were people with like 2.0s or lower, and like were college dropouts. And where like the clients like at my community center are truly like some of the most intelligent people I've ever met in my entire life, and that like having like that label to you didn't really matter.
That's great. That's a good realization, I think. See, I realized the other way that the people that were smart aren't actually smart, and they're just like me. All right, there's your advice. College graduates, high school graduates, take it for what you will, and congratulations. I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say on that. And now we'll get into, we ask people, what is your biggest vice? Okay. Some people didn't even know what vice meant.
Yeah.
Or I think it was one person didn't know what vice meant. What's your biggest vice?
My biggest vice?
Biggest vice, yeah.
What is that?
For people that don't know what vice means, vice is like, and the way I'm thinking about it when I ask the question is like, what's your biggest issue in the moment right now that you maybe even know you should fix, and is maybe making your life somewhat worse for doing that thing or whatever it is?
Yeah, it's a bad habit, right?
Yeah, it's like a bad habit. Do you have something, Joe?
Yeah, so it's hard to narrow down, my top 20 to my top 10 biggest vices, and then my top 10 to my top 5, and keep going down like that, because I have so many. But I was thinking about it this week. I think I kind of realized my biggest vice is my mouth. Okay. And I don't think I realized this really until I was like really thinking about what do I need to improve with myself.
Yeah.
And so aside from my stomach being so large that I need to cut that down, my biggest vice, I would have to say, is my mouth, bro.
Hey guys, Marv here, and I'm now going to say every curse word in the English language. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to do it all in alphabetical order, so enjoy. Anus, arse, arsehole, ass.
Yeah, I feel like I swear like a sailor.
Okay.
And I sound kind of like a hillbilly. And I'm only realizing this now when I'm thinking about it, but I really need to cut back on how I speak, and I need to expand my vocabulary a little bit.
I really don't think you swear that much.
Yeah, I think I do, though.
I mean, if you think so, then that's your own thing, right? You have your own gauge of how much is too much. But yeah, I mean, if I had to think about people that I just think swear a lot, and the first thing I think of I have people that I know that I think, but they swear a lot. I know they do, or at least it seems so to me. But when I don't think that of you. I think you swear almost a good amount. Like every once
just
in a while.
Right amount?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's too much, and I got to cut back on that and use some different words, different expressions to get out how I'm feeling and stop taking the Lord's name in vain so much.
Okay. Well, Jesus Christ, I mean, is like almost more of like just like a
prayer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a prayer. It's just like getting something off your chest.
Right.
It's not. I don't even consider that a swear word, even though everyone that's above the age of 50 would disagree. I just don't think. I see that as just like, oh, Jesus Christ, like that. Just
Well, it's gotten like so common in my vocabulary that I'm just like, it shouldn't be like that. I should pick other things to say.
What about just Jesus? Do you ever do that? Just Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Kind of then is like, all the old ladies that are listening just went, like they don't like that. Right. But if you just say Jesus, it's like a little bit better. People don't normally say like you shouldn't say that. Would you be okay with just saying Jesus?
I think I should cut that out altogether.
You don't even want to say Jesus.
I mean, I'm not going to, but I should. You know what I'm saying? Just highlighting my biggest vice.
You also want to fixed your vocabulary. Have you learned a new word recently?
No. Maybe I'll have a new word for you guys next week.
That's it. We should maybe do a new word with Joe to fix the vice.
Yeah, exactly. Because I ran out of joke material. So.
Okay. All right.
I'll think of a good one.
So those are the vices. You think you swear too much, and you think that your vocabulary needs improvement.
Yes.
Okay.
What about you, Matt? Biggest vice?
My biggest vice that I've realized about myself is I think, and I've always known this, but I think my biggest vice is in terms of like focus and maybe productivity. I'm not like steady. You know what I mean? I'm like either a big spurt into it and then a big decline of like no productivity, then a big spurt and I'll do a lot, and then like a spurt of no activity. It's like a up and down. Mm-hmm. I'm not like constantly productive. I feel like I don't steadily stay like. If I have downtime and I know that I don't need to maybe do something, and I've always was like this in high school and college with homework, projects, whatever. If it's due at the end of the week, I wasn't the person that was like, I need to make sure I get it done because I'm gonna, I was like, I have 5 days to do nothing. And then I have, on the 5th day, I'll do it. I'll stay up all night and kind of do it.
Yeah.
Instead of just chipping away at stuff and doing stuff here and there, like, and that's something that I've always known about myself, but I've never done anything about. So, what I've decided to do is have you heard of the boxing method? Or the boxing, schedule boxing it's called, or like productivity boxing.
Like blocking off your time?
So what you do in this method, which is I'm still trying to figure out how to get a free template. You got to pay for these templates. I'll just make one if I want to.
Forget that.
But what I'm going to do, this is another thing I've been putting off, is getting the template. So what I'm going to do is get this boxing method template, and what it is you wake up every morning. When you wake up, and I have to-do lists, which I stay organized because that's another vice that I fixed, is my organization. I've pretty much, I think, came up with a good way to stay organized with my to-dos. But you look at your to-do list, or you look at your day at the beginning of every day, and you write down everything you need to accomplish in the day, or everything you want to accomplish.
Okay.
Then you write down the top 3 to 5 things you want to accomplish that need to be done today. And you put those down in a separate box. Then you have a thing, it's kind of mundane, but I think this would work for me. Then you have a thing, like a box, like time boxing of by the hour.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, I'll do this, then this, then this, then this, then, and you actually schedule your time so you know like what your day looks like.
Yep.
And I think that will help me stay kind of at a constant level of production instead of days where I'm just like, I don't really maybe have much to do today, so I'll just do nothing.
Yeah.
And just kind of slump around.
Yep.
And then, but at least if I do slump around, I'll box it, and I'll know that the day is okay. You know what I mean? I don't know. So I think that's what I just think might help that. But yeah, so that's my biggest vice for sure is spikes and I guess pumps and dumps of productivity that should be at a more consistent level.
Very nice. All right.
So that's what I'm going to work on.
That's great. And I think we should turn it over now to the people of Boston and hear what they think their biggest vices are.
Oh my God, I don't know who's going to see this. I don't know what to say. Okay. Probably, I'm going to say either sweets or dairy just because I'm lactose intolerant.
Okay. Now, what's the one you wanted to say but didn't?
I was going to say, like, weed.
All right, weed. It's legal. I mean, you're pretty close to 21.
Yeah. Just round up a little.
Yeah, round up. It's legal here. It's fine.
Yeah.
How much weed do you smoke, hypothetically?
Like once a week.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's like not too bad.
So is that like your doctor's answer, like once a week? Like that's the real answer.
The real answer, a lot of my friends are in Greek life, so a little more than that.
Okay, so it is a little more. You like to smoke or take edibles?
Okay. So, if I want to be like really like philosophical, then I like to smoke. But if I want to get like plastered, then edibles.
Okay. You think you get more like thoughts going when you smoke or whatever it may be? Like?
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. I'm stressed all the time.
Okay.
My brain works a lot of. I overthink everything. You
Okay.
know, always worried that people are like, don't love me. You know.
Who are you worried about?
Like everyone, like people from work, like not like love, but like if people are mad at me or
Gotcha.
like I didn't do something like perfect.
Gotcha.
I just like want to be the best all the time, and no one has the energy
It's
for
like
that.
perfectionist.
Yeah.
That stresses you out, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
My brain's always moving.
Yeah. Again, what's your biggest vice?
My biggest advice?
No, vice. Like your biggest thing that's a problem that you could improve on right now, currently. Maybe eating out too much or sleeping in too much or whatever it is.
My pride.
Your pride.
I said that for me, I said my pride. My pride sometimes closes certain doors for me because of my pride.
Like you don't take maybe deals or something because you think it should be bigger kind of thing?
Or it could just be anything. I just say my pride. Sometimes my pride gets in the way of not a lot of things, but a good amount of things in my life.
Like
pride, I gotta work on that.
Like women or business? Like or
both.
Relationships?
Both. Relationships and business. But the business I'm more lenient on it because obviously it's business, so you gotta go where the money is.
I gotta think about it, man. That's a question I gotta sit down and think about. Got a lot of vices.
He's got a lot?
He does.
I mean, not major ones, but pride is one of them. Pride is one of them.
Pride, yeah.
Do you think maybe it's something more material, like drinking too much, smoking too much, spending too much? It's more like internal?
Maybe that.
Because you know why? No matter how much I drink, I still take care of responsibility. I still got to do what I do.
Gotcha.
In life, so I don't feel like drinking is a problem for me.
But with Justin, what do you think?
It's not a problem, but maybe it could drink a little less.
Yeah.
Drink a little less. Nothing wrong with that.
What's your biggest vice? Your biggest issue right now, like in your personal life? Your biggest
fucking liars and cheaters. If you're ever gonna fucking lie, I hear you.
I don't got any.
So you wait? Did
No,
you get?
you do. Say
I
his
don't.
name.
Did you get cheated?
His name?
Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. You literally lied to me for 6-7 months.
Anything else?
And guess what? Guess what? You have a fucking girlfriend already, you cheater.
Stuck on that guy.
Wait, so
hey, you really stuck on that guy.
What happened?
I'm not stuck. I just want him to be embarrassed.
What happened?
He's a big fucking cheat.
He cheated on you?
What else did he do?
No, you tell me.
He literally was talking to me and talking to this other girl, talking her up, invited both of us to a Memorial Day weekend thing.
Yeah. Hey.
Guess what he did? He took this fucking cunt there. Go fuck yourself.
Think you're gonna call him again soon or no?
Hey, Jules.
I will never call him again.
Okay.
Nah, you sound like you like him. I ain't gonna lie, that's honest.
I want to get revenge.
What are you gonna do for revenge?
That.
Good, all right. What's something you can maybe fix right now, like in your life, that's not going the way you think it should?
I'm 18, so I'm gonna not say anything.
About drinking?
Yeah.
Or smoking? You smoke?
Maybe.
It's all right, we won't tell anyone.
Of course not. Never. I would never do that. That's illegal. So a vice that is legal for me, I guess it'd be like, I have like a massive sweet tooth.
Okay.
So probably that.
All right, what's your go-to like snack that you're getting all the time that you feel like every time you get it, you're like, I want it, but I shouldn't get it, but you always get it?
Oh, Snickers ice cream bar.
Snickers ice cream bar.
Oh, for sure.
Nice. Okay. All right. Those are good. Do you agree, Joe? That's a good one.
Those are really good.
All right. Good. What else? What's second favorite? Second choice.
Favorite? I'm like a big ice cream guy, but I also like Mike and Ike's.
Sorry?
Mike and Ike's. Like
oh, Mike and Ike's. Yeah.
Sure.
That's good. All right.
When I was younger, I started to go to raves because I didn't feel like me.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what that was like, and so I started experimenting with a lot of drugs, and so that kind of made me weird, I guess.
So you experimented with drugs at raves?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. What kind of drugs?
The first thing I ever did in my life was PCP.
PCP?
Yeah, I love that. I love dust. Dust makes you feel so good.
Yeah.
It may sound weird, but like I get to a different side with that. Like I don't be disrespected. I learned stuff from it.
Okay.
Now, like back in the day, I was like retarded, but like
yeah,
it's like I enjoy it.
What other psychedelics have you done?
Everything.
Everything?
Yeah. Except for DMT. I hate DMT. DMT is the scariest thing in the world to me.
You don't like it?
No.
What was the experience like?
I saw my grandfather.
You saw your grandfather?
It's the chemical that's released right before you die.
Yep.
So you see like people that are passed on, or somebody that's supposed to come out and like help you, or some kind of hippie trash. But I keep seeing my grandfather, and I don't like that because he's passed away.
Yeah.
And it's like he's looking at me with that like, "What'd you do this time?" kind of look. And it's like,
damn.
Yeah.
Has that been your weirdest or worst experience?
No. On drugs?
Yeah.
Oh no.
What's your worst experience?
No. Worst experience? I don't know. 16 years old, being busted by a bunch of cops in a hotel room, and me and my friends are all like half naked and like kind of like such weird. It's really weird. And like the cops are like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Yeah.
And these guys were just like, People would think that's crazy, but to me, I was like, "Can we go back in now? Like, can we go? Like, are we done here?"
Did you get in trouble?
They used to be able to call our parents by like 3 hours, and we didn't. We just went back into the room.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. Maybe my parents found out, but I forget. Like, I didn't go home for another month, so it was alright.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, I was young then. We were like butt ass naked over there in the Sheridan, like sitting there like this with like harnesses on, like.
You were butt ass naked by the Sheridan?
No, we were like inside the hotel.
Oh,
like,
inside.
Cops came because they said they were like kids. They thought we were really young. But we weren't.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, kind of were. We were like
16.
52, yeah.
So underage at least.
It was fun though.
We did meet a guy who was admitted to us he was homeless and loved drugs. And that's honestly one thing I did appreciate about him, is that he was like, I love drugs. It's my body. I'm going to do drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to at least, he stood by what he likes to do.
That's right.
And I don't know what the hell that he was maybe on when he was talking to us. And again, not to make fun of him, because I don't want to make fun of somebody that, from other people looking in, has a problem, right? According to him, he doesn't have a problem, right? Everyone else looking at him would probably say he has some kind of problem.
Yep.
And I would just, and the couple, maybe whatever it was, a couple minutes we talked to him, I would think so. But we don't know. And you know what? At least he understands who he is, what he likes. He likes drugs. He doesn't care. He doesn't want anything else, it seems like, besides that, which is kind of typical.
Yeah.
But that's his biggest vice, and it's sad almost to see it. Like it's humorous because the guy was kind of comical in the way that he was presenting himself, but it's sad because he was obviously addicted to drugs of any kind. So you don't want to make light of, we don't want to make light of it. We also don't want to take away who he is, and we ran into him. He came up to us, he wanted to talk.
Yep.
So that's what you get. I mean, that's what we want to do, is highlight people on the streets, and that's what you come here for. So that's it. That's all I got. I'm gonna go sit down for about 3 hours, and then I'll wait until 11:30, and then I'll start editing the podcast. I won't work on my voice tonight.
Well, as long as you write it down that you're doing it from 11:30 to 12, then you're good.
And I also need to work on the boxing template. I need to figure that out. So I'll figure that out at the worst time possible, and push it till last minute, and that's all I got.
Very good. I'm gonna learn some new words this weekend. I'll be back with you guys next week, telling you all about the words I learned.
Great. And all right, happy Monday if you're listening when it came out, and have a good one.
Have a good week.
I've been in instances where in classroom participation, I raise my hand and say 2 + 1's 3. They invite the class, well, 3, ha ha.